The New England Farm Workers Council recently struck a deal with the city of Springfield to pay off nearly $356,000 in back taxes and fees. And as a result, several of the council's downtown tenants, including the Student Prince Café and Fort Restaurant, were able to keep doing business as usual. How are the two connected? Jim Kinney, a reporter for the Springfield Republican newspaper and MassLive, explained how he learned about the issue.
It showed up on a meeting agenda, the famous meeting agendas of the License Commission here in Springfield. License Commission meetings are generally pretty dull, except at the very end of the year, because that's when liquor licenses all renew, and you get to see who's going out of business, who's coming into business, and tax situations like what we have with the farm workers.
And so then that tax situation is what some of your recent reporting focused on. And you reported that the Farm Workers Council was behind on some of its taxes and fees. Before we get into the details of that, though, let's talk about what exactly the New England Farm Workers Council is, because according to its website, it was formed in 1971 as a group that helps migrant and seasonal workers, but it's morphed through the years. What's its role in the region now?
It has several roles, including running a number of social services programs, including they're the local place to sign up for heating assistance, HEAP, and other various federal programs. As part of administering those programs for a number of agencies, they have to have offices where the public comes in. They are allowed to pay themselves rent to operate those offices. The federal money that comes in includes money to rent offices. They pay that to themselves. And
because
if you
they own, not to interrupt you, but they own a number of buildings
yes.
in downtown Springfield that have storefronts at street level.
Yes.
So that's where, when you say that they're renting sort of from themselves, it's in some of those properties.
Yes, with the goal of rehabbing and rejuvenating what's for generations been a tough part, called the northern blocks of downtown, the area of Springfield on Main Street, very close to where Union Station is, very close to where the Arch Railroad Bridge is.
Yeah, not far from here, just a block or two away.
Yeah.
But they include Graham's Liquor Store, that's a prominent storefront that you see, the Paramount or the former Paramount Theater, a number of restaurants such as the Fort and the Student Prince, just some so people will have a sense of
yes.
the area that we're talking about. So you reported that the New England Farm Workers Council owed about $356,000 back toward the end of December. What caused their cash flow problem that they got that far behind?
A lot of it has to do with the ongoing project to rehab and renovate the Paramount Theater. Today the sign on the building says Hippodrome. Historically it was the Paramount Theater, built as a silent movie house in what was the Massasoit House Hotel, which has a long history going back
to the 1800s, mid-1800s.
Quite, yeah. That's a major rehab project that they're trying to get off the ground. There's investor money coming in, there's tax credit money coming in, but they had to spend a lot sooner than they would get that money.
Because they bought that building, I think it was back in 2011 for $1.75
yes.
million or so. But then I saw that you reported that they've invested another $2 million in that building, which for people walking by, you might think, where did that money go? Because you definitely don't see it on the outside so much.
Roof, heat.
Yeah, the non-sexy things that keep a building standing, essentially.
Yeah, when it's that big a building with about was it like 1,000 theater in it. Now that money is coming in, they tell me, and they've paid toward that debt.
They paid about $100,000 toward that debt. And one of the other reasons that this is significant is because they have tenants who, as you saw on the liquor license agenda, could have lost their liquor licenses, even though they're a separate business. They're just renting from the Farm Workers Council.
That's the rule.
But the Farm Workers Council sort of cut a deal here, right? They paid $100,000, and now what happens?
They're on a payment plan. It's $30,000 a month. Plus any new taxes that accrue. That's how a tax payment plan works. To pay down the debt, and in exchange for that, they were able to release, that's a technical term, release the liquor licenses for their tenants.
Such as Graham's Liquor Store, the Student Prince.
Punjabi Tadka.
Yeah, Chicago.
Yes.
Which is, that's a bar. That's their mainstay. I mean, they do have some food there, but the majority of where their money comes from, I would assume, especially for the package store, is through that liquor license. So a big deal for these businesses.
Yes.
Now, this isn't really a new problem for the Farm Workers Council. Last year, they had to play a little bit of catch up, too. Is this something that happens commonly? You went to the meeting. Are there a lot of other businesses behind?
This has happened in years past with other landlord and tenant situations. It happened in the same building when it happened in the Paramount building when it was owned by others. Some people see it as unfair to the tenant. The reality is it's a major way the city has to enforce their tax collection. The License Commission will say, we're not a tax enforcement authority. Well, they really are in this case because they're the hammer that gets people's attention.
Yeah. Because if it's not paid, then the tenants suffer kind of through no fault of their own, assuming they're paying rent and keeping up on their own bills.
There is a mechanism where a tenant could go to the city, hand over their rent check to the city for the back taxes, and then inform their landlord that when the landlord says, where's my rent, say, I paid your taxes with it so I could stay in business. That's rare, and as you can imagine, it sets off a number of legal things down the road, and did not happen in this case.
But interestingly, you also reported that Farm Workers Council is considering or is in the process of selling at least 2 other buildings, one here on Hampden Street and another on Main Street. But part of their mission or vision, as I understand it, is to invest in the downtown. So are they changing that vision?
That's changing their strategy the way Mr. Flores, Herberto Flores, who's really been the driving force behind the Farm Workers Council and a leader in the community here. He described it as a real change in their philosophy, driven a lot by expenses, and in reality with the taxes, they had an idea of sort of redoing the entire neighborhood. Now they have to be much more focused. That's just the financial reality of it.